Natasha Q from Intolign, and welcome to another heartfelt chat. Today I want to talk about adulting. How to be an adult. Because it sounds weird, the topic, how I'm expressing it, but I think it's so needed in this world. And I know that I needed to grow up and to become an adult. So let's just break it down. What the heck am I talking about? I know that there are a lot of adults, so grown human beings in this world, but I also know that a great deal of these grown human beings aren't necessarily acting like adults. I'll explain that later, but I want to emphasize that for me, growing up emotionally was really a big part of truly becoming an adult. And I think if we want to have healthy relationships, if we want to have work, engage in our careers in a healthy way too, or have a home or manage a household in a healthy way, then we do have to grow up emotionally in order to truly become an adult. Because staying emotionally immature, dare I say immature, it can be quite a source of suffering for those around you. And when you have like a group of people who are, say, like grown up people, but they're all still acting emotionally immature or like children, then it's tough. Then life gets really tough. So let me just break it down for you and talk about what I mean when I'm talking about learning to grow up, learning to become an adult. I think that for a lot of my life, I actually kind of blamed the outside. Like when things didn't go my way, I would just get frustrated, or when something wasn't nice, someone wasn't treating me right, I would blame them. And so there was just a lot of like, oh, life isn't good to me, life isn't quite right, things don't go my way, that kind of thing. But over time I realized that there's another way that I can actually engage with life. Like if I have a life, then I can actually live it. Like I can create it, I can shape it, it's my life. And so slowly I began to realize how much control, how much power I have to creating my life in every single way. And that changed everything. So I also had to realize that as much control as I thought I had in my life, there's another half of it that I cannot control, and that's how people act, what people do, what life throws at me. You know, there's so many things that I can't control. So in truly becoming an adult, I had to respect like my power, what I can directly influence, and then the world as it is. People, how they are, not needing to change them, not needing to manipulate them, how the world is, what it gives me, respecting that, not resisting that. So that was so valuable to have this distinction. There's my business and then there's the world's business or other people's business. And sometimes I have no business getting into someone else's business because it's not for me. And so with this kind of attitude or this kind of understanding, I went out into the world and I could actually show up more and more as an adult. Because when people actually gave me feedback, and in the past I would just get really emotional about it because I would take everything personally, well, by being emotionally grown up, I was actually able to hear what they say, take what's useful, and leave the rest. So in a way, like life's dramas just dropped away because I didn't need to react emotionally to everything. People's responses weren't like attacks to me. And I saw how relationships could grow so much more because I wasn't busy trying to emotionally, feel all right. So I think that being an adult fully also means that I have to have these uncomfortable conversations that I didn't dare to before, because I thought that, you know, I'm afraid of conflict. I don't want to like get that response from someone else because I know they won't like what I have to say, and I'll just tuck it away. I'll tuck what I have to feel, what I want, what I need, I'll tuck it away. And I used to like mold myself and be a chameleon and just adapt to what everyone else wanted. But I realized that being an adult is to know myself and to show up in conversations and to own up to how I feel, and then to express it, whether I could confidently say it or just get it out of my system, to have good, honest conversations with people and be able to articulate how I feel, what I need. Yeah. And sometimes, if the other person is a grown up but they haven't grown up inside, they'll take it personally, or their response will be like throwing a tantrum, and an emotional outburst and that kind of thing. Sometimes, adulting can make other people feel kind of uncomfortable because you're owning up to your own stuff. So by doing that, being so honest and being so open, it kind of forces the other people to own up to what they're saying, what they're doing, and that often makes people really uncomfortable because the truth is there and you're not afraid to say it or to be it. And that was something that I was really, really afraid of. I used to back down. I used to, try to reduce the amount of conflicts I had. I tried to not to express myself so freely, openly, deeply in the past because I was afraid of other people's emotions. But as an adult, I realized, like emotionally evolved adult, I realized that it's okay to express how I feel, and it's okay if someone else responds in a way that's not what I want, because the point of expressing what I need or what I want isn't to change their behavior, to change who they are, or to get a response out of them. And I feel like when we are acting still like children, then we will throw those tantrums. It's like being around someone who's so emotional. Whenever they don't get their way, they just throw a hissy fit. They'll be passive aggressive, or they'll give you the cold shoulder. They'll say like off comments, or they'll just act in a way where clearly everyone around them knows that they're unhappy, but they're just doing that to express how they're so unhappy that they didn't get their way, and they're throwing a tantrum like a kid would if things don't go their way. Like if you don't give the child the toy that they're asking for, they'll cry about it, they'll stomp around, they'll scream it out. And I think it's kind of crazy that in society we think that's okay. We think that it's okay that other people are acting literally like children when things don't go their way, if we don't act the way that they want us to, if we don't say the right things, if we don't do the right things, if they don't get what they want, then they have the right to like throw these like adult tantrums. They can be angry, they can be vicious, they can be mean, they can be manipulative. I think that's mad. So I think that for anyone to feel much more control of your life and also to have much healthier relationships is so key to grow up emotionally, and to grow up and to own our stuff, especially on an emotional way. And that's not just it, right? Like I mentioned, the fact that we have our own business, we have our stuff going on, what we can control, and then we have the other part of the world, how people respond, what the world gives us. Yes, we can draw the line and tell someone, hey, this is not okay, or that I found that to be really disrespectful, but we can't throw a tantrum. We can't throw our arms up in the air and say life is so unfair. Oh, can you believe that happened to me? Oh, it happened to me again. Or like, oh, look at how mean they are to me. Or like, oh, I can't believe they said that to me. It's all like about you, about you, about you. And that is such a childish way to approach life, and of course it makes things so difficult. So I know that sometimes, you know, if I'm very unconscious, I can still slip into like the childish way of being, and it's just not fun because you feel so righteous. You don't you dislike, your heart hardens to the people who you think have wronged you, and it's just not fun. It's really not fun to like fight life and go, this is wrong, that's not right, and how can this happen to me? It's just not fun. So those are my thoughts on adulting, my view on what it's like for me to learn to truly become an adult, to emotionally get there, and how it has changed my life. So happy adulting to you. Let me down in the comments whether you know what I'm talking about. You know, the people who spaz out, act like children emotionally, but it's still socially accepted. It's crazy, right? And whether maybe you do it sometimes, and how you're doing with emotionally becoming a full-grown adult. How is that for you? Let me know definitely in the comments below. Can't wait to hear all about it. And of course, as usual, to support this channel, please subscribe and to hit that little bell button so that you can get notifications. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!